We're standing at the corner of Albany Avenue and Edgewood Street, where Hartford police have been investigating this fatal car accident for nearly 2 hours. Take a walk with me. You can see there's a sidewalk here along Lake Street, but once we approach this corner of Lake and Phoenix Street, the sidewalk just stops abruptly. This is exactly why residents are concerned. We saw that there was an ambulance and a couple of other Hartford PD vehicles. Now, we were driving around this area as well earlier. I did see an ambulance pull into Hartford Hospital with at least one police vehicle right behind them. We just heard from the Ashford Fire Chief a couple of minutes ago. He tells us they were able to put out this fire in about 90 minutes or so, but the cold temperatures tonight making it that much more difficult for his crews. This is just how I have been measuring the snowfall while we've been out here. I make like a footprint into the snow, right? And then Manny's gonna zoom into my footprint. Take a look at this sidewalk, a portion nearly covered by some debris that broke off from this massive tree. Potholes are caused by the expansion and contraction of water beneath the pavement. When that water freezes, it expands, causing cracks and essentially making the ground weaker. Also periods of wind really picking up. I want to take a second, see if you can kind of hear. Well, the CDC recommends you wear a face mask with 2 layers of fabric, fits securely around your face, and completely covers your nose and your mouth. But how much more protection am I getting if I take a second face mask and place it on top? Talk to me about why you wanted to come out today with your dad.
I wanted to come out because it matters.
And then Dad, Jeff, talk to me about why it was important to have your 2 young children come out with you today to march in the streets. We're actually with Hartford Lieutenant Paul Cicero. Could you tell us exactly what happened?
Sure, right around 2.
The city's health department says they've had to shut down 10 establishments throughout New Haven for safety concerns. Tonight, that number jumping to 11 as they had to shut down one popular restaurant after they received videos showcasing multiple COVID violations. Bren, at the top of the list, obviously we have the players affected, we have the coaches affected, and we have their families. These signs with the mandatory self-quarantine reminder are scattered throughout the airport, and you can also find these travel health forms. Now, any individual traveling into Connecticut from one of those 31 states highly impacted by COVID-19 must fill out. Just a few weeks ago, students living at an on-campus residential hall were asked to self-quarantine after at least 20 people tested positive for the virus. And now health officials say positive cases are increasing among students living here at the Oaks.
I received this very strange email saying that UConn's there for us to prepare to quarantine.
Health officials say they're seeing increasing numbers of positive COVID-19 cases among those living at off-campus apartment complex The Oaks on the Square. UConn now asking students to self-quarantine.
We heard about a couple cases that might be going through The Oaks, and we got sick last week. We got tested on, 2 of us got tested on Saturday, and we were both positive.
We spoke to 3 roommates who all tested positive for the virus and have been quarantining since last Saturday.
The days have been blending together, just like staying inside and not doing anything.
Now you guys have to quarantine due to the situation. How does it make you feel?
We feel that like UConn doesn't really have the right to tell the students that live here like that they have to quarantine. I feel that like if you're negative and you're healthy, then you should have the right to do as you please. And
local health officials calling it an outbreak and believe the cases are a result of close contact without a mask. Students are only permitted to leave the apartment for solitary activity or grocery shopping.
We got our essentials here. We got orange juice, milk.
UConn is asking students to self-quarantine for 14 days starting Friday, and once that time is up, they will be allowed to return to in-person classes. A Halloween party at Anthony's Ocean View captured on video Thursday night. No mask, no social distancing. But the violations don't end there.
No mask, dancing on the dance floor, full DJ, not drinking alcohol without serving food. Those are all clear violations of the governor's order.
So less than a day later, Fox 61 capturing the New Haven Health Department shutting down the popular restaurant as it happened.
Are closed until further notice. We are alarmed and concerned that the sector rules were completely ignored, and people's lives matter.
Health Director Maritza Bond says Anthony's will be closed until they work through a corrective action plan and go through a reinspection by the task force. Owners declining to comment.
This virus is not going away, and we want to respect businesses, but businesses also have to respect the patrons that they serve.
The health department continued into the night, checking up on other places like Amarante's Seacliff and the Bar, both good examples of restaurants in line with safety regulations, according to Bond.
I felt like this was a pretty good establishment following the rules.
The health department will be on site all weekend, making sure establishments are following sector rules. Officials say they are prepared to shut down any places where they find violations. When the holiday lights turn on, the celebration begins.
Brings up, the holiday cheer and holiday joy while still being safe and distance.
House after house in the Newtown area decorating big time for the holiday season.
Quite an undertaking.
The families just love it. They look forward to it.
The force behind the movement, Lois Barber, who started a Facebook group, Newtown Holiday Displays and Maps, following the 2012 Sandy Hook tragedy. She says they keep the holiday displays limited to 26 houses in honor of the victims.
Our tragedy happened in mid-December. And for years, the air was so heavy around here, you could cut it with a knife. And I started this group so that parents could take their kids around to see some of the holiday lights and to try to get some of the magic of December, bring it back to our town.
Rhonda Cullen shares she lost a neighbor during the tragedy, so she puts an angel on display every year in her memory and has a green tree daunting exactly 26 angels.
After that happened, I dealt with, do I turn the lights off or do I leave them on? And I just felt like I really needed to, because we had so much darkness in our town and we needed that light.
The Facebook group now has more than 5,000 members. On it, you can find a list and a map of the holiday displays.
There's an interactive map, so we pushed it and it's kind of push and go.
Typically, a contest is held, but with the pandemic this year, homeowners are doing it just for the holiday magic.
Families are driving around looking at all the houses, and they stop and they really feel a sense of peace.
It's for the little kids and the little kid in all of us to bring some Christmas cheer and some light and brightness to the world.